Hey guys, it's Erica. Welcome back. I had way too much fun today. These guys are here. Some of my potato people. Actually, they're not potatoes. You can see it's a carrot and a corn. I picked these up on eBay, guys. I might have to do a video about my potato army, or as my husband might say, my problem. I have some kind of an addiction to potato heads. I don't know why. They're just fun, I guess. But I used these today. This was actually a level 5 class, believe it or not. With my level 5 student, I used these goofy characters. But do you know why? It's because she's only 8. This is Cindy, my longtime regular. I've mentioned her before. I feel like I don't know, we just get each other. She's 8, but I don't know, we could have fun talking about 3D shapes. But I decided to bring some fun in because a lot of times we're playing Guess a Word, and she has fun with Guess a Word with like correct the grammar. That was one of her favorite like games, correct the grammar. I'd show her something. I think it's just exciting to be able to like really understand. But anyway, so with these, we're in level 5. We're talking about plants. We're in the plant unit, and we're reading that story for like the second or third time about like who will be the vegetable king or queen or whatever. So I thought, oh, I have these two, like, I have a crown too. I have these king and queen crowns. We should name like a vegetable king or whatever. So we picked faces, we picked shoes. I had some other options for shoes and some other options for like faces. These are kind of weird. They're all weird. None of them are really normal looking. But anyway, so she early on she chose. I think the eyes were we chose shoes and then eyes. So she decided this would be the queen. But at the end, it was funny. She didn't want the crown. She said, "I want the stem." And so, ooh, maybe that's worse. Maybe she envisioned this. So anyway, I just said, well, it's her game. And so I think we did this over like 4 progressions. We did like the shoes, the eyes, the arms. She thought these arms were so funny. And then we crowned them at the end. Well, we stemmed one of them and we crowned another one. And then the 5th star, I just kind of like, good job. Sometimes I don't always like make a big deal out of the 5th star. I'll kind of like award it after they agree to do homework, or as we're saying goodbye. You don't have to be like super militant about how you give out the stars. I mean, I try to space them out, but I don't stress. So don't be afraid to, if you have younger students in these like upper levels, yes, they're speaking like older students, but they're still babies. Well, not babies, but they're 8, 8, 9 years old, 7 years old. Sometimes you get these kids that just started English really young, like Cindy. She was in level 2 right after her 5th birthday. I think I met her a few months after her 5th birthday. So, yeah, they're still kids. I mean, even some older students. I had a really fun older student today. That was my first class today at 6. It was a grammar class. Grammar can be really dry, but there are usually readers in those grammar classes, and she was 14, a girl named Jane, and we just made some neat connection points, like talking about like, well, what do you do here? Or, what kind of books do you like to read? It was like it was a story about like books in the library. We're doing countable nouns. So you'd say like, instead of saying animals stories or animal story, the whole point was making noun phrases. So you'd say, I like to read books about animal stories or whatever. So she did great with that. But yeah, I don't know, don't be afraid to be I don't want to say silly, but don't be afraid to have fun with students. When there were just moments when things were silly, we laughed. Just embrace that. Or if you see the student cracking a smile, like the student had really high fluency, really good understanding too. So I could say things like, that's kind of funny, isn't it? Or, she'd notice something strange in the picture and encourage them to interact. I think sometimes these students are so used to just, getting through the lesson and just, if something's funny, like suppressing that. It's like, no, like let's take a moment to realize that we are enjoying this. This is fun, and that's okay. So that was cool. And then my second class, there's one. I had four classes today. There's one that I'm not remembering. I had the grammar class. The next one was a Voice of VIPKid class. This is another one. I think I'm just I don't know, I'm just feeling good this week. So this one, oh my gosh, have you done the new Voice of VIPKid? This is not like I can clap, I can jump, like where you're learning one song and you're doing different stuff. I'll say, like, I like a lot of the new classes, but I'm not sure I like new Voice of VIPKid, at least not this one. Guys, there were 3 songs to get through, 55 slides in like 25 minutes. Like, I think I went to 27 minutes and I still didn't really cover like all the slides as much as I wanted to. Like this class, I think it's just like, keep it going, keep it going. I had like 30 seconds per slide. Some of them, it's like I don't know. I don't think you're really like explicitly like teaching the song. I tried to teach like some of the words like I can see with my eyes. We tried to do that. And I tried to teach like the main vocabulary. I think it was like eyes, head, eyes, shoulders, knees, and feet. So it was like kind of a head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but to a totally different thing. So I have this like stool that I use to prop up my feet when I'm sitting. I don't sit to teach, but anyway, so don't be afraid, guys. So I hopped up here to show like head, shoulders, knees, and then I was like, oh my gosh, look at me. But I'm like, you know what? Don't worry, whatever. This is me. Like, I'm 43 years old, whatever. And so be careful though if you're gonna get active. Like, knees wasn't too bad, but then I wanted to show my feet, and so I was kind of doing this business, and the child like put his foot like right up to the camera. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna go for it. So I went to put my foot up, but I'm just not really, I don't have a lot of space to work with here. So I like karate chopped or karate kicked my desk. I was like, yeah, and like everything went blah, 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 blah. And the student heard a loud noise and he just started dying. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen. I just like karate kicked my desk. And so after I said, yeah, he did a karate kick too. It was really funny. And up until that point, the student was kind of like, I don't really like to sing. A lot of the teacher to teacher was like, Stephen he doesn't really like to get into it. He wants to do what he wants to do. But I'm telling you, after I karate kicked my desk, like, we were friends. We were like best buds. He's like, this teacher is for me. She's for me. Like, she's trying. I don't know. Maybe, did he really think this? But maybe somewhere deep in his heart, he's like, this girl's trying. Like, let me try too. I will participate. Okay, teacher, if you will karate chop your desk and own that, I will do this lesson. But like I said, this class was so long, like 3 songs, and like the student really wanted to like do all the words and the motions, and so maybe I spent a little too much time in the beginning, but it ended up working out fine. I hope the parents don't mind with this class. When I realized we were running out of time, and then I needed to end by 28 minutes. Sorry. I needed to end by 28 minutes. I started doing things like if you teach the new Voice of VIP Kid, there'll be these slides with like the whole song or big pieces of the song. You can listen to the audio clip. The first song, or the first, I don't know, it's like the 3rd song. We listened to the audio clip and then we just did some of the key phrases like, I can see with my eyes. With my eyes. This poor kid, I hope I didn't do that. Anyway, we just did some key phrases. Just cover something on the slides. I think that's the best thing that I've found to do when you're running short on time. Do something. Do something on each slide. The next slide, we didn't have time for the audio clip. We just didn't. It's too long. So I just chose some key phrases. I didn't circle them or anything because this kid really wasn't from what I could tell, he wasn't a really strong reader. He was 6 years old. He's in Voice of VIP Kid. I checked the teacher-to-teacher feedback, and he's somewhere in level 2, and he parrots. So I don't think he's really at a reading stage. So that's what we did. We just did some key phrases, and then we ended with one of the songs. We sang a couple of the lines, had a nice goodbye, and he drew some hearts for me. And so that was more important to me, to use a little bit of class time. We're talking like 15 seconds. To do a nice goodbye instead of like, okay, we're at like 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Bye, Stephen. Thanks. No, you want to have a nice like ending. Then even if the class was a little frantic, if you slow it down in the end, I truly think like maybe it kind of makes the class not feel as crazy. The student is left with a good impression. At least that's my strategy. That's what I try to do. Just calm it down, sum it up. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye. See you. See you next time. That's a strategy you can use. Take it or leave it. It's what I do. And for the life of me, why can I not remember the 4th class? Oh, this was so weird. Okay. So it was the older sister of one of my regular students. She pops in every once in a while when she can grab a class. She's on winter break. She was able to grab a class. So I got in and she wasn't there. These girls are so punctual. It was really weird that she wasn't there. All of a sudden, I was like gathering some stuff and I see this note written. I come back because usually I have wireless headphones, and so I might walk around my classroom or just pop out real quick, but I can monitor. In most floors of my house, these things have great range. I came back and I was like, "Ooh." She's like, teacher, my mom is like locked out of the house basically." So they were doing that thing where, I don't know if you know this, but the parents can monitor what we're doing. They can't, there's no sound or anything like that, but apparently they can like write on the screen. So that's kind of interesting. Mom could be circling things or moving things. Um, she was able to write on the screen and do like check marks and stuff. She's like, "Can we just do class anyway?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've always said no, I will not. If I don't have sound, I can deal with a camera that's broken, but if I don't have sound, like we're not doing it." I don't know. I just maybe because I like really enjoy this girl and she was able to write pretty fast. We modified some stuff. It was the weirdest thing in the world at first, but then I just kind of went back to my VIP kid mock class or whatever, my demo lesson that I pretended I was teaching. But it was neat because she was writing quickly and she'd do little check marks or she'd write a heart or whatever. So we could interact. It was strange how quickly I felt like I could interact. And so I did some of the reading. I tried to like modify some of the exercises. I'm like, instead of having her read stuff, I'd say circle the square, circle the cube. The math section was like 3D and 2D shapes. And it was neat. She could also like circle things and be like, like what's a solid shape? And so I was actually able to like, oh, look, this is a solid shape. You can put things in it. It was really weird, but I think it worked out okay. The fireman finally around 20 minutes popped on because I'd reported all this at the very beginning when I realized what was happening. The fireman popped on and said, "Mom wants to continue with class. They can review it later." So don't be afraid to do that, especially if you've been given the blessing by the firemen. Like hang in there because they can see the recording. I think as long as somebody logs in, I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But don't be afraid to do that. I always said I'd never do it. And I don't know if I'd always do it. But since we could actually communicate by her writing on the screen and me talking to her, she could hear me and see me. I'd do that again, and with a student that was able to interact in some way. I just said that, but that would be like my only thing. So don't be afraid to modify things a bit. It was weird, but it's totally possible, and maybe it'll really win them over. I don't know. Like I was willing to give a class. I mean, I guess that's my job, but anyway, so today was interesting. It was kind of crazy for many different reasons, but it was a good day. It was a good day of just adapting to like whatever comes into your classroom, not like whatever situation comes at you while you're in class. So again, remember, this is the last week I'll be doing the rundown of my teaching, this kind of like amorphous, nebulous like train of thought, stream of consciousness. Next week we're going to be a little more on target. We're going to be zeroing in on some teaching tips that you could use tomorrow or maybe tonight if you're teaching tonight. So look out for that series starting next. I'm not sure if it's going to start next Monday, but it'll be starting next week. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.